Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Tuesday Beginner Series. And I'm back from the cruise. It was a really nice time away to just spend some time with my husband and enjoy the beautiful weather and the waves and just everything good about cruising. But I was ready to come back. Would you believe I did not take any crafting stuff with me? Nope. Actually, just didn't have room for it. So I was chomping at the bit to get back here and to start up our series again. So missed all of you guys. I hope you missed me. Tonight, what we're going to talk about is we're continuing into learning all about color. And we talked about the different color mediums that you can use, watercolor pencils, inks, things like that. But tonight I wanted to focus on how do you pick the colors that you're going to be using when you're making your card. Hi, Paula. Thanks for joining. So I thought what I would show you is two ways I go about selecting colors when I am working on a card. About 50% of the time, I go right for my DSP. And your DSP is great because you know what colors are in it. I just got this brand new paper pack. It is the Garden Impressions, and it goes with the Abstract Impressions stamp and die set. And this is just so pretty. It's a 6x6 pad, which I really love. I tend to use up more of my 6x6 pads because they're already cut. Sometimes when I get a 12x12, I just love it so much that I'm afraid to use it because there are only a couple of sheets in there. And I'm worried if I cut into it that, it's gone, even though I can order more. So my 6x6 packs I really like, and I was so excited that the Garden Impressions came in 6x6. I mean, look at all these gorgeous, gorgeous colors, and I'll just kind of fan them out here for you to see the different, all kinds of floral patterns, beautiful colors, and then on the back side you have subtler prints that coordinate really well. But one of the things that's easy about going to your DSP is right on the back of the pack. It tells you what colors are in there. Let's see if I can get this back in here so I can read the colors off to you. So for instance, in this one, we have Calypso Coral, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Night and Navy, Pacific Point, Petal Pink, Powder Pink, Soft Seafoam, So Saffron, Shaded Spruce, and Whisper White. So this uses a ton of different colors, which gives you a lot of options. And so I take my paper, and just to show you, I pulled out all of the inks that go with this DSP. And that's the first thing I normally do, is I go through, pull out the DSP pack, and then pull out the different colors, and that gives me a good basis. Now, we're not going to use all those colors, although that would be fun, wouldn't it? But I'm going to show you with just two pieces of this DSP, the two different ways that I select color. So the first one I'm going to pick is, oh, I already took it out. It's over here. Look at this. Isn't this just so pretty? Very soft, very subtle, and goes really well with this stamp in the Abstract Impression stamp set. Now that I know which DSP I'm going to use, I can go in here and I can see the different colors. There's Pacific Point, Shaded Spruce, Melon Mambo, Mango, Melody, and So Saffron. And the background, I don't know if you can tell, it may look white to you, but it's actually soft seafoam. So I just go through and I start pulling out cardstock. And I didn't pull out everything that went with, because I already had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to pick up the blues, the pinks, and the greens. And so I went right to Pacific Point, and this is actually going to be my card base. So I've already cut it 4.5 by 11, and I will score and fold it. And then, actually, I take that back. Am I going to use that? I may end up, though, using Melon Mambo. Love Melon Mambo. But see, this is the fun. I can go through and say, these are the 3 colors I really like. There's my DSP. Let me just pull this stamp set out of the way, give us a little more room. Now, what do I want to do? I know I want this to really be front and center on my card. I did go ahead and I cut for my sentiment and a little image. I cut a stitch shape out of Whisper White, and I decided that the mat for this I would do in the Pacific Point. So that is ready to go. That will go on here. Now I haven't cut this piece down yet, but that will go on here. And then I need to decide, I want a mat for my DSP, and then behind that is going to be whatever color I use for my cardstock. So then I just start picking things up and laying them down. That's awfully pretty. See how it is with the green. And that green is pretty too, but I just feel like the blue gets lost against the green. See, there's another color decision I'm making. I want the colors to be as vibrant as they are on the DSP. So I'm going to remove my shaded spruce. I will probably use that as the ink for stamping my sentiment, just so I can bring out the greens here. So I've decided I'm going to go with my Melon Mambo and my Pacific Point. Question is, do I want my Melon Mambo to be the card base? So it would look like that. Come here, you. Or do I want my Pacific Point to be the card base? And the Melon Mambo would be the mat. And you can make your mat as big or as small as you like as far as leaving a border. I tend to go with a 1/4 inch to a 1/16. Or sorry, that's not right. A 1/4 inch to an, 1/4 inch, an 1/8 of an inch to a 1/16. There we go. I'll get it right, because I really want to leave a lot of room for my paper. So let's say that I've already got that Pacific Point cut down to card base size. So I have a pretty good idea of that. And then this, again, I can leave a larger border, or I can just integrate in a little bit. And then this would be my focal point. Oh, I think I like that. I definitely think I like that. Hi, Lori. Hi, Eileen. Aileen. I'll get it right one of these days, I promise, Aileen. Thank you, ladies, for joining. So I think this is going to be my color combo. That was pretty easy. We started with the DSP, figured out what colors were in the DSP, pulled out some cardstock, and just started playing around with what was most pleasing to the eye with the DSP that we chose. Easy breezy. All right, let's put this together real quick. So I've got my trimmer down here. I love this desk. It has a pull-out drawer like you use for keyboards, and that's where I keep my trimmer. So first of all, I'm going to make this, I'm going to score it at 5.5. So it'll be 4 1/4 by 5.5 vertical card. So we've got that. And then I want just a narrow frame. So I'm going to make my Melon Mambo be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And that'll give me just a little bit of border. So 4 inches by 5 1/4. Right there. All right. So this goes on here. Ooh, I think I need to change my blade there. This goes on there like that. So far, so good. And I'm going to leave just a little border. So the other one was 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be 3 3/4. And I want to make sure if you have a directional, this really isn't directional, it can go either way. But if you have a directional, you want to make sure that your first cut, which in my case is going to be the 3 3/4, it has the pattern going the right way. So 3 3/4, and then this was 5 1/4, so we'll make this 5. And then I think I can put this away and we're ready to start assembling and stamping. And that didn't take us long at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue down, get out my trusty Tombow here. And I'm going to glue this down, see if any of them work. I've been gone so long I haven't been using them. Come on, baby. Well, that's not going to happen. Luckily, always keep a spare. Just need to cut off the thing here. And we'll be on our way. And watch, this will probably come out super fast. Okay. So here we go, just enough on there to give it a good bind. Pick this up and wiggle it around a little bit till I have it the way I like it. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead, I think, and put this mount it straight on, and that way I can pop up my sentiment panel. So I'll just glue this down. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, pretty, pretty, but nope, nope, nope. We're not doing that today. I tell you, I changed my mind so many times right in the middle of a card just because I flip it over to put glue on it and fall in love with the other side. All right. And wiggle that around. And there's the base for our card. Now, I'll put aside that mat's going to go right there, and our focal panel will go right there. Pretty, pretty. So let me put my glue away, and I'm going to go ahead and use the floral image here to do some stamping on this, as well as we need to pick our sentiment. And I think I like kindness changes everything. So let me just grab that real quick. Hello. Oh, there it is. I already grabbed it out. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, I know I have it in here. Am I just blind where I can't see? This is so happy about your news. If flowers were hugged. Oh, there it is. Ah. I'm looking for a small sentiment, and it's a great big one. All right, let's pull that out. I'm just going to slap it on here for right now. I'll straighten it up later. And I need to decide now what inks I'm going to use. I want these flowers to be in the background, and I'll probably do a couple of different colors. I'm going to go back to my DSP, and I'm thinking I'll use the Melon Mambo and the Pacific Point. Nope. Melon Mambo, and I have a small one of those. Let's do Melon Mambo, and the Pacific Point is a little too bright for it to be background flowers. So I think I'm going to go with the Mango Medley. Those two colors will be really pretty together. All right. And I probably will even stamp off my flowers just to make them really kind of fade into the background. Melon Mambo is such a beautiful, bright color. So I think I'm going to stamp it off, and then let's stamp it again. Oh yes, that's going to be lovely. I always say I'm going to bring out a scratch piece of paper so you guys don't have to look at all my stamp offs, and I always forget. But then that just means it looks like the way you do it at home, right? And remember, when you're stamping, always good to take it off the edge of the page. And I don't mind that I have a little bit where it's not an even color, because that just makes it look even more watercolor, which is what I'm kind of going for. Let me pull out my chamois here and just give this stamp a clean. Make sure it's clean. Yep. And now let's move on to, I haven't used the stamp pad before. Yay. It's one of our brand new ones. So if you've not opened them before, they're a little bit different. There's no pushing. You simply lift it up like you would a compact, flip it over, and then slide it in. Now let's see how bright this is going to be. Yep, I think I'm going to stamp that one off as well. And I'm just going to make them go every which way. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. And I think I'm going to come back in one more time with the Melon Mambo. But this time I am going to stamp it off twice and see if I can get an even more faded look. My Melon Mambo is so juicy. All right, so stamp it once, stamp it twice, and now I'm going to go in for one more. Where do I want to do this? I think I want to do it this way. Just a little bit of fill-in. Oh, yes, I like that. Okay, close up my ink pads so I don't drop them and mess things up. Now, if we wanted to put in some greenery, we certainly could do that as well. We have that stamp in here somewhere. So that is, okay, well, you know how you just have something on your desk and then all of a sudden it's gone? I know, guys, I just had it, right? I was just using it. Oh, well, not going to worry about it. I can always come in and do some of that. Now, the next decision is, I know I want to use Kindness Changes Everything, and I'm going to put it right there. But what color am I going to do? Should I do the shaded spruce? I think I have enough Pacific Point in there. I think I'm going to do the shaded spruce. So let me pull that out. And this is the first time inking up this. So let me just make sure that it inks up well. Yep, I think I'm going to like that. It inked up pretty well. So I'll pull this down here where I can see it, get it on the line so it's straight. Pardon my head if it gets in the way. And then just leave it set for a count of 3 or 4. making sure you have good contact. There we go. So this will go on there just like that. I really like that. And this we said we're going to go ahead and pop up on dimensionals. So I will glue this to the mat and then pop that mat up. Come on, slide down. There we go. All right, so we've got that. And I will pop that up. Now, do you think we should put some ribbon or something on there just to give it a little more definition? Let's see what we've got. I can use twine. I have this really, really fun ruffled ribbon that we could use. But I think that might be a little too much. I don't want the card to be too heavy. So let's see. The seafoam might work really well here, since it matches that background. And actually, I could just put a little bow on it, or if I'd been thinking, I could have put this down before I glued all my mats down, but it really kind of gets lost against that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just tie a bow and put that on there, and then maybe also put a couple of enamel dots. I think that'll look pretty. So let me, you know me, I cheat with my bows, so bring in my little handy dandy bow maker. That's going to be too small. There we go. I think I'll make it a double. Sounds like happy hour, right? Make that a double. All right. Come on, get in there. Okie dokie. And I always leave my tails pretty long until I transfer it over to the card, because I just never know, and I don't want them ever to be too short. Nothing worse than short tails. We'll put that out of the way, bring back in our card. I love these little double bows. They add just enough. And that will go right there. I think that'll be lovely. So let me first put this on with glue dots, or not glue dots, dimensionals. Yep. Nope, just enough. Although I do use the edges, so don't ever throw those edges away, because they come in really handy. They're just as useful as the rest of the dimensionals. Okay, decide, do I want it in the middle? Kind of like it up there, but then, whoop, don't stick. I put the bow there. What do you guys think? Should I do that, or should I put that and put the bow there? Show of hands. Just kidding. Hi, Anne. This bow maker I actually bought on Amazon. Not very expensive, and boy, does it come in handy, because I can't tie an even bow to save my life. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and be different and put it up here. Just going to lightly place it down. That way I can adjust it if I need to. And this I will put down with glue dots. And I'm just going to put it right down there. Glue dots, glue dots, glue dots. Glue dots are so handy for attaching bows, especially twine. And the mini ones are the perfect size. So we'll just stick that right there. Make any last minute adjustments. And now I can go ahead and clip my tails. Okay, now that's cute, but needs a little something, something. You know me. You got to pull out the goodie box. We have so much. Oh, you know, I could have put a doily. Oh, well. Next one. Okay, so we have rhinestones. We have enamel dots, or glitter enamel dots. We have pearls. Where's my other one? I think I have the right color enamel dots in this one. Yep, I do. So we can use those, or we can use these. Color-wise, that goes really well. The seafoam goes really well, but they're pretty pale. I think I want to use these. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Pull out my pokey tool. Because just like I can't tie a bow without the bow maker, I can't put these things on there with tweezers like everybody else does. So I'm going to pick a small one. Actually, let's start with the medium-sized one. Put that there. And then we'll pick a smaller one and put that there. And take a little one. Let's put it right there. You know me, gotta have 3. And there is the card. Now, of course, I will take a panel of Whisper White for the inside. I generally don't stamp my sentiments on the inside until I know who the card is going to, because kindness changes everything. Could be a thank you card, a thinking of you card. So I tend to not put the Whisper White panel inside until I've stamped the sentiment. So this will just go into my ready box. And when the occasion comes, then I'll be able to pull it out and use it real quick. All right. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but there is one other way that I go about choosing colors. What we just did was we took the colors straight from the DSP. I chose this as the DSP that I wanted to work with next. And I know that that's Pacific Point for the blue flowers, Shaded Spruce for the leaves, and it has a background of So Saffron and the seafoam. The Pacific Point with this, and let me just pull it out here, I thought was a little too light with all this blue. It just didn't stand out very well in my mind. So I was sitting there thinking, well, what would be close to Pacific Point that I could use? I don't know if you guys have printed these off or not, but these are the handiest tools that you'll ever have, because it lists all of the different colors and also what coordinates well with them. As I was looking through my inks, I decided that I could have gone with Night and Navy, but the Night and Navy was so dark. Well, we have a brand new in color called Blueberry Bushel. And I thought the Blueberry Bushel would be beautiful. And it is. Look at this. I mean, that to me, it's just dark enough to really set off the flowers, but not too dark to where it takes over. So I knew I wanted to use Blueberry Bushel. Well, what colors go with that? I looked at my color chart and I see that we have several colors we can use. We can use Calypso Coral. We can use Call Me Clover. There's no purple in the DSP, so I stayed away from the Highland Heather. And even though the Mint Macaron I might have been able to get away with, I just thought I really didn't want that shade of green. If anything, I was going to use the Call Me Clover. So I decided to go with the Blueberry Bushel and the Call Me Clover. But when I held up the Calypso Coral, no, did not work. Calypso Coral was way too bright. So then I just went through and pulled out the DSP, and I know that it has So Saffron in it. So guess what? We're using So Saffron. So Saffron will be my card base. This will be my first mat. Then I will put down the DSP. And because these are all very on the warmer side, instead of Whisper White, I decided to go with Very Vanilla for the sentiment panel and back it with some more of the Blueberry Bushel. And that's what that will look like once I put it all together. So those are the two different ways that I found very helpful for working with color. Take it straight off the DSP, and remember the back of the DSP pack will tell you all the colors that are in there. Or go through with your cardstocks. And at our team meeting, we actually made this handy dandy little tool that has all of the different cardstocks in it. And this is how I was able to, without pulling out mounds and mounds of cardstock, I just went through this and used it when I was determining what colors I wanted to use. Because you can, as you can see, it's easy to hold things up and see whether or not they're going to go. All right, that was all I wanted to talk about tonight. How to, what the different ways are for choosing your colors. If you guys want to hang around, we'll finish out the card. But if not, that was really what we wanted to talk about. And Lori, I hear what you're saying about that bow getting lost. So I may pull it off and go with a darker color for the bow. I agree. Normally what I would do is put another little strip of the Whisper White on there and maybe put the bow on that. And I may do that yet. I'll play around with that. All right, any questions? All right, if you guys want to hang around, I'll put this together real quick. This is going to be a fast one. I've already scored and folded my card base of So Saffron. And again, I just went 1/4 of an inch narrower in my cuts when I was cutting the rest of the pieces so that I'd have just a nice little border all the way around. So we have that, which means this one's going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So let's cut this real quick. 3 3/4 by 5. There we go. And you know these little pieces that you end up with when you're working with 6 by 6 and you cut that? Don't ever throw them out. They look absolutely beautiful paired with a sentiment panel running off the side. Always save those so that you can use them later. Now this one, I'm not going to glue that down yet until I decide if I'm going to put any kind of ribbon or twine around it. So let me just hop right to stamping. And because we have these beautiful aster-like flowers, I guess they are, that's what I'm going to use to stamp on here. And I'm going to use the blueberry bushel. But I really love the stems and leaves there. And they don't have that in this set. But guess what set does have it? Your Daisy Delight. Very, very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Daisy Delight to stamp. And I'm going to use the Call Me Clover. Remember, that was in the color sheet that went with Blueberry Bushel. All right, so I've got Call Me Clover right here. Get over there, you. And I'm going to go ahead and use it full strength. Remembering that I have to leave room for my flower. So I'll put one tall one right about there. Put another one up here. And just however many you want to put on here, remembering that you are going to be stamping a sentiment as well. But I think I'm just going to do it like that. And now I'll go ahead and take my blueberry bushel. And there are two different flowers that I can use. And if you look at the DSP, you'll see it has those same two flowers. So you've got your fuller flower here, and then you've got your smaller flower. So we'll start with the fuller one. And let me just see if I want to do this full strength or if I want to stamp off. Full strength's pretty bright. Yep, I'm going to stamp off. Remembering that I want my sentiment to really take center stage on the panel. So just decide, and the nice thing about the photopolymer, you can see right through it. I'm just going to go through, and there's a nice little indentation in the petals that I can use as a guideline for the stem. Oops, come back here. This one, I think, yep, I'll put right there. All right, so I've got the larger flowers on there. Now, let's do some of the smaller ones, but do them full strength. Just a couple of them, not too many. Put that where I can find it later. And I'll practice right here. Oh, I like that. Very, very pretty. So if we just take, and it doesn't have to be exactly lined up. That's the beauty of these. Just like that. What do you guys think? I'm thinking that looks good. All right, let's put this up. And the last thing we need to do is our sentiment. You know, I may want to, nope, I don't want to do it in that. I think I'm going to do the sentiment in the, can't do it in the Call Me Clover because it'll blend in with the leaves. Maybe I'll just do it with black. Black always works, right? Use my VersaFine ink here. Nope, where's my memento? I had my memento. There it is. And the sentiment we're going to use on this one, let's see. could use the kindness changes everything again, but it's too big. So let's go with one a little. How about thank you? We always need thank you cards. Of course, that means I have to now find where my stamp went to. Remember this? Ah, there it is. Yoo-hoo! Okay, here we go. I think the thank you will fit on there. Oh, look at that. As I get ink all over myself. Thank goodness for chamois. Just want to make sure I don't get it all over my card. Okay. Will the thank you fit? Right there. I think it will. I think we can make that work. All right. Make sure this inks up well. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is black going to work on it? There's nothing else black on there. I don't think I want the black. I think we're going to go with the blue. Just because. Black usually looks good on everything, but with the warm colors we've got going here, a brown might have worked, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just use the blue. Somebody out there loves blue. A little bit crooked, but not bad. Okay, put that away where I can find it. So this we're going to go ahead and mat to that, and then we'll pop that up on dimensionals. I don't know that I have any Saffron ribbon. That sure would be the perfect way to set this off. I know I definitely don't want to use any more blue. Let's see. Oh, I can't tell. Is that Saffron or crushed curry? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back here. My ribbon just doesn't want to cooperate. There it is. So I'm just going to cut off a piece of this. She said, oh my goodness, it is just stuck on this roll. It does not want to come loose. Pokey tool. Pokey tools come in handy for so many things. It just does not want to come off there. Well, I guess that's probably telling me then that that's not the right color to use. So let's see what else we have over in our little bag of tricks. I always keep a bowl filled with ribbon and all sorts of things. So let's see. What do you think about that? Is that too dark? Just remember, that'll be popped up there. I'm thinking I like that. Need to trim it down a bit because I want it to sit right there. So I can go ahead and glue this down. I'm not wrapping the ribbon around. Come on, come out. There we go. I can remember when I first started with doing math, I could not get them on there straight. But just goes to show you, practice makes perfect. And we'll cut this down to about there. And how do you make the cute little tail V-notch? I just fold mine in half. And cut the notch from the outside to the center. Works every time. And I think I'm going to use a little tear-in tape to hold this down. You certainly could use any kind of adhesive. I just like my tear-in tape. It holds really well. Probably could have used the wider one, but that's okay. Give it a good press and remove the backing. Easier said than done with these short strips. Come on. There we go. Okay. This I am going to lay in the center. Right like that. And then I'll pop that up on dimensionals. Now, if you decided that this was just a little too busy and you wanted to tone it down just a bit, you certainly could take an additional mat of the Very Vanilla and put it behind it to give it even more separation from the background. I kind of like that though. Come here. And we'll put this on there. Trying to get it straight. And there we go. So these are the two cards that we made. Same DSP pack. The one on the right, though, I used strictly the colors that it listed on the DSP pack. The one on the left, I just kind of went with what I thought looked good based on the pattern of the DSP. And there you have it. Hi, Amy. Thank you, Anne. Hi, Jamie. All right. Well, that is our color, end of our talking about color for our Tuesday Beginner Series. So next week, I think we'll go ahead and move on to do, oh, what the heck? Let's do shaker cards. I haven't done a shaker card in a long time, and they're really making a comeback. So let's do shaker cards next time. They're really not as hard as they look, and they're an awful lot of fun. Perfect for birthdays, just any kind of a fun card. Maybe we'll even break out the new animal outing stamp set and use it. So stay tuned for that next week. And if you want to join me on Saturday for Saturday Anything Goes, remember that's at 3 p.m. Otherwise, I will see you all next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye now.